All right, I'm gonna get straight to this. I want a partner. I want to find a husband. I want to find a partner. I am ready. I've prayed on it and I've done all the work, all the self-growth. I have invested in myself to become the best woman, the best version, the best partner, the best future wife. And the problem now is, where are those men? Right? Can't find them on social media. I mean, some women do. I have not. Dating apps are terrible. I go to church, but I don't meet no one at church. I work from home, so I don't step out a lot. Where are they? Are they in the US? Are they in another country? What do we do? Us women that are ready. We're ready to commit. I've done the job. I'm just waiting up. And it sucks. And I know other girls feel this.
Okay, so how come, like, when you're single and dating and talking to someone, why is Elton John Christmas music playing? Anyway, why do they always ask, what are you looking for? Also, I spill iced coffee. Please don't mind that steam. I'm looking for a husband. I'm old. I'm 41. I'm obviously looking for a husband.
Hey everyone. We're going to start a new series. It's called The Day in the Life of a Single 47-Year-Old Woman in San Diego that's going to be on a mission to not be single. Yeah. So the ultimate goal for me, honestly, is I want to get married again. So we need to find a husband. I just don't know where to do that. So that's why you're here. So if you guys have any ideas where I should start, I don't know if it's the dating apps. I don't know if it's going out to certain places, locations. I don't know. Do I walk around Home Depot all day? Do I go to Lowe's? Where do I go? Where do I find my future husband? If you have any ideas, comments, suggestions, anything of that sort, can you just drop them in that drop box right there? Leave them in that comment. Don't DM me, please, about applications, because I don't have any ready. This is just me thinking about dating. This is just thinking. It's not happening yet. So it's just a thought. Just trying to figure out where to start. Where do we start? So if you have any ideas of where I should start, drop them in the comment box. All right. Thanks.
I've come to this decision that I need a husband so I can sit next to fires with. So I'm not literally sitting next to an empty freaking chair at 40 by the fire by myself at 10 at night on a Friday night. I'm going to start taking applications for this chair.
So I had a man today ask me if I was ready for a serious relationship. So to answer that, my aunt suggested this. To start to say, yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious for somebody to take care of my mortgage. I'm serious for someone to take me on vacation. I'm serious about meeting someone that wants to pay a car note and my insurance, that wants to pay my phone bill, my electricity, my internet, that wants to pay for me to get my hair, nails, and lashes done when I want to get them done. Seriously ready for somebody to put gas in my car every Sunday. I'm seriously ready for somebody that, wants to be a stepdaddy. Well, real daddy these days. I don't believe in step. I'm seriously ready for a man that doesn't want other men. Because that's a Houston thing. I'm seriously ready for a man who's about that life. So I think that as a man, before you ask someone, are you ready for a serious relationship, think about what serious actually means.
Keep seeing these posts and they're cute. Like, I get it. I understand. And I relate to it to a point because, like, I'm dating to find my person. I'm not dating to find another parent for my child. Like, my kids have a dad. They don't need another one. But at the same time, if you don't have the capabilities, like, you don't have the character of a parent and especially the desire to be one, I don't want you. And I especially don't want you in my kids' life. My kids are with me all the time. Like, this is my lifestyle. I'm a mom. You're going to have to be a role model. This is what's going to happen. It's inevitable. You will be in their life if you are dating me. Like, I will be damned if I ever let somebody around my children that don't want that for themselves, that don't want this lifestyle for themselves. My kids are not going to be surrounded by something like that. And especially the types of people that say, oh yeah, I can do it, you know, whatever. But they resent it and they show that resentment on you or that resentment on your kids. That will not be my children's lives. So if you are not fully capable and fully ready to be in my life and my children's lives, it's literally never going to work. You have to want it. If you don't, then do not interrupt our lives. Kindly go away.
What I'm looking for in a man as a 29-year-old woman who is a single mom and a widow, this is just my opinion and how I feel, so just remember that when you're listening to this. Of course, I want someone respectful, kind, smart, someone that believes in God. I would prefer not to date somebody in the industry, whether it's like a food server, a bartender, any of that. I just don't want that for my life. I don't want to be stuck in Vegas forever. I would prefer somebody that has hair on their head, somebody that has a good set of hair, somebody that is good with kids, that likes kids, because I'm a mom. So if you do not like kids, we're not going to work. If you don't understand the work that goes into being a mom with kids, then we're not going to work. I fear men just think like they're animals and we can just lock them up in their room and just, you know, like hang out, but that's not how it works, okay? So that's important. You need to have a car. And I used to say like I would prefer that they had a house, but they don't necessarily have to have a house, but you have to have something, like be able to provide for yourself, a place to live, you know? If you're living with mom and dad, it's not gonna work. I love teeth, somebody that has a nice smile. I love that. Somebody that cares about their health and fitness and that loves to work out and do that sort of thing. I like to take care of myself in that way, so I would prefer somebody that's on that same level. I also would prefer somebody that does not smoke tree. I have nothing against it, and occasional use is okay, but I do not want to be with somebody that cannot go hours without it. It's just not gonna happen, not for me. Same with any substance, actually, so that goes for all substances. Somebody that has a good relationship with their mother. I feel like that's just a telltale sign of the type of person they are. I also would prefer somebody that is handy, that can use tools, that can do that sort of stuff, because I've been doing it by myself. I would prefer not to have to hang up a TV. If you could hang up a TV or build something, that would be great. I would love that. I'm not needing Bob the Builder, but you need to have some skills with tools. I'm sorry. I would prefer somebody that is 5'11" or taller. Maybe that's shallow. I don't know. My husband was 5'11", so I would like for it to be the same or taller. You need to have a job. If you don't have a job, don't even talk to me. I will not date somebody that has to go out all the time. If you are constantly out partying or feel the need to do that, no. I think I already said this, but somebody that believes in God, I have to be with somebody that knows he's real, that is God-fearing, because I will not be the one to try and convince you that God is real.
When people say men are leaving the dating market, it is not apathy, it is evolution. It is men realizing that their energy, time, and loyalty are currencies, not gifts. And the more you waste them on people who see you as a utility, the more you bankrupt yourself emotionally. You see, we live in a time where many men have quietly stepped back. They're not bitter, they're not angry, they're observant. They have seen the same pattern repeat too many times to keep pretending not to notice. A man meets a single mother. She tells him she just wants peace, stability, and a real man. He believes her. He gives his time, his money, his energy. He becomes the emotional anchor, the provider, the helper. But slowly, he realizes something. He is not being loved for who he is being used for what he provides. Because in today's dating economy, relationships have become transactional. It is not about love anymore, it is about leverage. The more value you give freely, the faster it loses meaning. And that brings us to the first truth. The more you try to make her happy, the faster she loses interest. Why? Because effort without boundaries looks like weakness. When a man sacrifices his peace to earn someone else's approval, he is no longer being masculine. He is being emotional labor in human form. I have this friend of mine who spent years supporting a woman and her child. Off the bat, I told him it was a bad idea, but he was in love, I guess. He thought his love and consistency would eventually earn him respect. Instead, he became invisible. The moment he stopped solving her problems, she replaced him. Not because he was bad, but because he made himself too available, too predictable, too safe. That is the paradox of attraction. The more you orbit around someone's emotional needs, the less gravity you have in their world. Value is perceived, not declared. And in modern dating, perception has replaced reality. Here is the uncomfortable truth most men refuse to face. When a woman has already lived a full emotional and romantic life, her needs shift. She is no longer looking for passion. She is looking for structure. And the man who confuses that for love ends up living in quiet servitude, mistaking responsibility for connection. The second truth is this: men have finally stopped mistaking emotional debt for loyalty. For years, society told men that if a woman has kids, real men step up. But stepping up without being valued is not noble. It is self-erasure. A man's instinct to protect and provide only works when it is reciprocated with respect. Otherwise, it becomes exploitation wrapped in gratitude. You can see it everywhere. Social media posts saying, "Real men date single moms." But if you look closely, those words are not invitations, they are recruitment ads. The reality is, many single mothers are not seeking love. They are seeking relief. Relief from exhaustion, from bills, from loneliness. And men have finally started to notice the difference. This is what I call emotional hunger disguised as connection. It feels warm, affectionate, even romantic at first. But as soon as you stop feeding it, the warmth disappears. Because it was never about you. It was about the void you temporarily filled. And that leads to the third truth. Scarcity creates illusion. When women feel the pool of available high-quality men shrinking, they do not become more selective, they become more strategic. They lower their tone, soften their words, and mirror nurturing behavior. Not because they have changed, but because their leverage has. But here's what most men miss. The game only works on those still hungry for approval. The man who has built peace within himself is immune to flattery. He does not fall for emotional urgency. He recognizes when he is being positioned as a solution rather than a partner. When you understand that dynamic, everything changes. You stop interpreting attention as affection. You stop mistaking comfort for compatibility. You realize that sometimes being chosen is not a compliment, it's a warning. Because in this new dating landscape, abundance is not about options. It's about emotional control. The man who can say no from a place of peace holds all the power. He's not driven by scarcity. He's not swayed by temporary validation. He doesn't chase what drains him. That calm detachment, that is what women are feeling now. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. Men have learned that peace costs less than love built on obligation. And the irony? The moment you stop chasing, everything starts chasing you. Because stillness is magnetic. A man who doesn't need attention stands out in a world addicted to it. Men in 2025 are not rejecting women. They are rejecting dependency. They are no longer auditioning for roles in lives that are half-written. They are writing their own. And for the first time in a long time, that choice is shaking the system. Because a man who values peace over performance is unpredictable. You can't manipulate a man who's not afraid to be alone. You can't control a man whose self-worth is not tied to being needed. This is the quiet revolution happening beneath the surface. Not loud, not hateful, just detached, disciplined, and aware. Real masculinity today is not about saving anyone. It's about mastering yourself, your focus, your boundaries, your purpose. Because once you have peace, you don't negotiate it for chaos, disguised as love. So let them call you distant. Let them say you've changed. Because the truth is, you did. You stopped being a volunteer in your own exploitation. You stopped being emotionally available for people who were only situationally loyal. And that's not loneliness. That's liberation.